Intersectional collective liberation begins with our immediate communities. That's what we have control of. Palestine cannot be free until we achieve freedom with housing, racial and gender equality, education, disability justice, clean fucking water. Yeah. That's why we have to start where we have the most influence. We have the possibility now to wake people up. Strategic and informed voting or not voting, teaching, boycotting, hosting direct actions like these, planting trees, hosting drag shows, and allegedly doing crimes are all things that it takes to create liberation. So fuck shit up and disrupt where you are.
In the last few years, since Eric Adams has come into office, his administration has literally actively defunded our citizens. They have empowered the police to brutalize. He has condoned police murder, all types of heinous brutality that the NYPD has conducted. They've enforced and reinforced the SRG, the Strategic Response Group, that is purposely and intently there to break, physically break down anyone that has come out of their home to stand up and to demand the wellness of humanity. It is harrowing to see this play out. We've seen every action and demonstration where individuals have come outside. The Taru unit is literally, we're seeing them use their drones and surveillance, and we're not being informed that that surveillance footage is literally being sold and that data is given to party groups and private groups overseas, and that feels, it just feels so unconstitutional. Whereas the entire world is responding and demanding that the humanity and the lives of innocent people be protected, that children have an opportunity to grow and to eat, and to have adequate housing. They have flattened many parts of our own city. They have gentrified many parts of our own city. So as New Yorkers, we are very familiar and we identify deeply with the struggle and the genocide that's happening right now in Palestine.
The police have targeted, have surveillance, and sold our data, across the seas. The police do not protect queer community. So therefore, why the fuck are they at Pride? Why are they paid to be at Pride? The police do not protect queer people. They should not be allowed at Pride. Queer cops are the problem. They are being weaponized. While we are brutalized. The queer cops never intervene.
So to me, I feel like, again, and I know that the city council members have been advocating a lot for care, not cuts, but that's not enough. We need more serious action. We need for a real awakening. They cannot get away with this stripping of our truth. And as they try to strip it away, more people are becoming activated. And that's what they fail to realize. They will radicalize this entire city to rise up as they continuously pour and pack more police into every part of our city. That is not the solution. The police will not be a solution when their indeed origin has been in slave catching, has been in the dehumanization of black and brown bodies. And that includes queer bodies, that includes queer community that have always been at the center of the city, that make New York City its legacy, its undeniable, magical place to be in America. Yet it is not magical, right, when the police are harassing, targeting, and brutalizing you every week, on and off camera. And the mayor condones, supports, and has overpaid these robots to do it. Shame.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the number one issue for Gen Z voters right now that's on the ballot is Palestine. So if Biden wants a vote, he's going to need to advocate for Palestine in a meaningful way. He's going to need to up his calls for a ceasefire. He's going to need to call for an end to the genocide, and he's going to need to connect more with Palestinian leaders in this country to help get the pro-Palestine voters on his side. Right now, we need to pressure Biden to adequately address the genocide in Gaza, which he's not rising to the occasion on. So if a democracy is Joe Biden's concern, he's going to need to address the biggest concern for young voters, which is Palestine. Outright got word of our little demonstration. Outright got word of our little demonstration. And they were shaking in their boots. And they were shaking in their boots. And they met one of our demands. And they met one of our demands. Before we even got here. They reaffirmed their call for a ceasefire. Let's celebrate that. Pinkwashing is a strategy employed by Israel as well as other countries and organizations to essentially paint themselves as a safe haven for LGBTQ plus individuals in an attempt to cover up their violence. And one, we know that Israel is not the safe haven for LGBTQ people as it claims. And two, you can't use LGBTQ people, queer and trans people, to as a weapon to cover up the fact that you're committing a genocide, that you're committing an occupation on indigenous land in Palestine, that you have an apartheid state. And also, three, we know that queer and trans Palestinians exist. And the strategy of pinkwashing is used to erase their narratives in favor of their own government and their own narratives. And so a big part of why we're here today is to combat this pinkwashing narrative, which attempts to try to paint Israel as having all queer and trans people on their side, to use us to cover up for their violence, their occupation, their genocide. We're making it known that not only do we have queer and trans Palestinians here and their voices matter, but we here as the 300 or so queer and trans people out on the streets, we're here for a free Palestine. We refuse to be pinkwashed. If I'd like to talk about our local funding here in New York and how much of it is being directed towards the police who are continuing to brutalize Palestinian and pro-Palestinian protesters in this city. I also want to talk about how they're continuing to get more and more funding to be able to send thousands and thousands of cops to brutalize student protesters, to brutalize pro-Palestinian protesters, to brutalize demonstrators of all backgrounds with overtime and blank checks, while they're actively defunding our local healthcare. And I'm here with ACT UP, the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power. We just did a town hall this week where we talked about the $5.3 million in HIV care that's getting cut. And all of these services, it's over $73 million in healthcare in New York City, in New York, is being cut right now. Meanwhile, we're sending more and more money to the police, despite our 2020 calls to defund the police program. And Mayor Adams has blood on his hands when it comes to the health and well-being and lives of us New Yorkers. And ACT UP is here on our fight for healthcare, not warfare initiative. We know that every time we send another blank check to Israel, that's healthcare getting defunded in the United States. And this fight is intersectional, not only because we are here as queer and trans people, we're here as HIV advocates, we're here as Jewish people, but we know that our struggles are tied together. And we can't have liberation for any group of people until we have liberation for all. And our Fund Healthcare, Not Warfare initiative is that message of solidarity.
Everywhere we go, people wanna know who we are. Children are starving.
The government is lying.
The government is lying.
Families are dying.
Families are dying.
While children are starving.
Children are starving.
The government is lying.
The government is lying.
Silence is violence.
Silence is violence.
What a lot of our community grassroots groups are doing is really is leading with education, leading with love, honestly, because that's what the enemy doesn't want, right? Is for us to have a unified vision. And we're seeing a lot of these queer organizations that are supporting and promoting the police under this guise and weaponization of safety. And the reality is they are the ones that make any space, any community activation unsafe. Their presence alone is unsafe, and what their ability to destroy. I mean, just last week, I saw 2 of my own family members placed in chokeholds because they were on the sidewalk wearing their symbol of solidarity. It's heartbreaking, it's disappointing, and it truly makes me feel like we have regressed back to the 50s and the 60s. We are living in a Jim Crow era under the guise of Mayor Eric Adams, and that is shameful.
We unite for collective liberation.
We unite for collective liberation.
We are queers for Palestine.
We are queers for Palestine.
We are Jews for Palestine.
We are Jews for Palestine.
We are humanity and community.
We are humanity and community.
And we will win.
And we will win.
We have gathered here today.
We have gathered here today.
To protest.
To protest.
To call out.
To call out.
And to get accountability.
And to get accountability.
From the outright international organization.
From the outright international organization.
It feels like there's a series of placation. Unfortunately, the Democratic leadership currently have aligned themselves with lobby groups, lobbyists, instead of actually partnering with community, investing in community. They have partnered and awarded over $14+ billion in the last few months to aid in ongoing genocide. When the people truly in this city, people in America, are without food, are under-resourced. And literally, you know, the census in 2020, I believe, shared a report that it would take about $20 billion to end homelessness in this country. And we're literally sending that to terrorize and brutalize other people's homes, to displace people. And so we are deeply aware and connected to that struggle.
Wake up, this